Across the open deserts of the Cold War, through the mountains of Afghanistan, and into the broken streets of Fallujah, one rifle cartridge kept appearing wherever the fighting was hardest. The 7.62 by 51mm NATO round, closely related to the civilian .308 Winchester, hit harder than the lighter cartridges that replaced it, carried farther, and punished anyone who tried to control it on full automatic. It was heavy, it kicked hard, and every rifle built around it had to make difficult compromises. But the best of them earned reputations that outlived the wars they were forged in. These are the 7 most feared .308 tactical rifles ever built. Number 7. FN FAL. The countdown begins in Belgium, with the rifle that armed more of the Western world than almost any other weapon of the Cold War. Designed by Dieudonné Save and built by FN Herstal, the FN FAL entered production in the early 1950s and became one of the defining rifles of its generation. The FAL had originally been developed around a lighter cartridge, but pressure inside NATO pushed the design toward the full-power 7.62 round. That decision gave the rifle its reach, power, and most of its worst habits. Versions of the FAL were adopted by more than 90 countries, earning it the nickname the right arm of the free world. In British service, it became the L1A1. During the 1982 Falklands War, British and Argentine troops carried versions of the same rifle against each other. The classic FAL used a 21-inch barrel and a 20-round magazine and weighed close to 9 pounds before ammunition. Its adjustable gas system helped the rifle work with different ammunition and difficult conditions, but it also demanded a soldier who understood the weapon. The full-power cartridge was the rifle's greatest strength and its biggest weakness. On semi-automatic, the FAL delivered hard, accurate fire over useful distance. On full automatic, the muzzle climbed quickly and ammunition disappeared faster than most soldiers could control it. That is why several military versions were restricted to semi-automatic fire. The FAL was long, heavy, and expensive to feed, but it earned fear through reach, reliability, and worldwide presence. Number 6. Heckler Koch G3. West Germany wanted a rifle it could build at home, and the answer grew from the Spanish Set Me design. Heckler Koch refined that system into the G3, which entered production in 1959. At its heart was a roller-delayed blowback action. Instead of using a traditional gas piston, the rifle used rollers in the bolt mechanism to delay opening until pressure had dropped. The result was a weapon that felt harsh, but built a reputation for toughness. The G3 spread across Europe, the Middle East, Africa, Asia, and Latin America. It was fielded by dozens of countries and produced under license around the world. Shooters often describe the difference simply. The FAL was smoother and better balanced. The G3 was rougher, sharper, and less interested in comfort. Its charging handle sat far forward, its trigger was rarely praised, and empty cases were thrown out with violence. Yet that mechanical directness made the rifle trusted. Like the FAL, it was difficult to control on full automatic. Fired one round at a time, however, it delivered accurate, hard-hitting fire over useful distance. The G3 ranks above the FAL because its reputation was never built on elegance. It was feared because it felt almost indifferent to abuse. It kicked hard, handled roughly, and kept serving long after newer rifles were supposed to replace it. Number 5. M14. The M14 entered American service in 1959 as a modernized descendant of the M1 Garand. It used a detachable 20-round magazine, fired the 7.62 NATO cartridge, and promised to replace several older weapons at once. On paper, it looked like the perfect battle rifle. Vietnam proved otherwise. The M14 was long and heavy in dense jungle. Its wooden stock could react to humidity, changing the pressure around the action and affecting zero. Its ammunition was heavy, and soldiers could carry fewer rounds than they later carried with the M16. Full automatic fire was the deepest problem. The rifle had the power of a light machine gun cartridge without the weight and support of a machine gun. Once the selector moved to automatic, control disappeared quickly. Its career as America's standard infantry rifle was short. But the M14 did not vanish. It moved into the role where its weight, cartridge, and accuracy finally made sense. Selected rifles were rebuilt into the M21 sniper system. Match-grade parts, improved optics, and careful fitting turned the failed general-issue rifle into a dangerous, semi-automatic marksman weapon. Staff Sergeant Adelbert Waldron used an M14-based sniper rifle during Vietnam and finished with 109 confirmed kills, the highest official total credited to an American sniper in that war. The achievement belonged to the shooter, but it proved what the rifle could do in expert hands. The M14 ranks 5th because it failed in one role and became feared in another. As a universal automatic rifle, it was too heavy and hard to control. As a precision semi-automatic, it earned a second life that lasted for decades. Number 4. Knight's Armament M110 SASS. The M110 semi-automatic sniper system was built around one lesson. A sniper did not always need a bolt-action rifle. Sometimes he needed accuracy and an immediate second shot. Knight's Armament developed the M110 from the SR-25 family, which carried the design bloodline of Eugene Stoner's original AR-10. The rifle combined a rotating bolt, 20-round magazine, modern optic, and suppressor into one sniper package. The wars in Iraq and Afghanistan made its purpose clear. A target could appear in a window, cross an alley, and disappear before a sniper had time to cycle a bolt and rebuild his position. The M110 allowed repeated accurate shots without forcing the shooter away from the scope. That speed did not come free. Fully equipped, the M110 became heavy and awkward in vehicles or confined spaces, and it needed more maintenance than a bolt action. But at distance, the M110 changed expectations. It showed that a semi-automatic rifle could deliver serious precision while giving the shooter far more capacity and faster follow-up shots than the bolt-action systems it was designed to support and partly replace. The M110 ranks fourth because it changed the modern sniper rifle from a single-shot problem solver into a weapon capable of controlling several threats in quick succession. Number 3. FN SCAR-H Mark 17. By the early 2000s, special operations units wanted something lighter, shorter, and more adaptable than the Cold War battle rifles. FN Herstal answered with the SCAR family, and the 7.62 version entered American service as the Mark 17. The Mark 17 used a short-stroke gas piston, aluminum upper receiver, polymer lower, folding stock, and modular barrel system. It carried the same full-power cartridge as the FAL, but handled it through a far more modern design. Its 20-round magazine preserved classic battle rifle capacity, while the folding stock made it easier to move through vehicles in tight spaces. Recoil was more manageable than on older rifles, though full automatic fire still demanded discipline. Different barrel lengths let the same basic weapon serve as a compact heavy carbine or a longer-range rifle. The Mark 17 remained the core fighting model. The SCAR-H was not perfect. It was expensive, its magazines were less universal than common AR pattern magazines, and the rifle grew heavy once fitted with optics and other equipment. Earlier versions also drew criticism for the reciprocating charging handle. Still, the Mark 17 earned trust in special operations service because it brought 7.62 power into a rifle far easier to configure and carry than the old FAL or G3. It ranks third because it proved the battle rifle could survive in the modular age. Number 2, LMT L129A1. The rifle that Britain selected for urgent use in Afghanistan was the L129A1, built by Lewis Machine and Tool around its LM308 design. British troops were facing long engagements across open ground and mountain valleys. The standard 5.56 service rifle remained useful, but commanders wanted a semi-automatic weapon that gave selected infantrymen greater reach without turning them into full sniper teams. The L129A1 answered with a 7.62 NATO chambering, 20-round magazine, and familiar AR pattern controls. It weighed around 4.5 kilograms in service configuration, making it heavy for a patrol rifle, but much handier than a traditional sniper system. Its monolithic upper receiver created one rigid platform for the optic and handguard. That helped preserve alignment and supported the accuracy expected from a sharpshooter rifle. The L129A1 remains semi-automatic. Britain was not trying to recreate the automatic battle rifle of the 1950s. The goal was controlled precision, quick follow-up shots, and enough capacity to remain useful if the fight moved closer. More than 400 rifles were purchased urgently, and strong troop reports turned the emergency purchase into a lasting capability. The L129A1 ranks second because it solved a specific battlefield problem better than several more famous rifles. It proved that the modern 7.62 rifle was no longer meant for every soldier. It was a carefully placed weapon in the hands of the person most able to use its reach. Number 1. Heckler Koch HK417. The number 1 position belongs to the Heckler Koch HK417. Heckler Koch had already built a strong reputation with the 5.56 HK416. The HK417 scaled that basic short-stroke piston idea up for the 7.62 NATO cartridge, combining familiar AR-style controls with the power and reach of a full-size battle rifle round. Different barrel lengths let the HK417 serve as a compact heavy rifle or a marksman weapon. Unlike the G3, it was designed for modern optics, suppressors, and adjustable stocks. The straight-line layout helped control recoil, while the piston system kept much of the hot propellant gas forward of the receiver. That did not remove the need for cleaning, but it helped the rifle earn trust in hard service. The HK417 was adopted by military and special operations units across several countries. Its advantage was the way modern controls, reliability, accuracy, and 7.62 power came together. Its disadvantages were predictable. The rifle was expensive, and once fitted with an optic, suppressor, bipod, and loaded magazine, it became heavy. The ammunition also limited how much a soldier could carry compared with 5.56. But battlefield fear does not come from the cheapest or lightest weapon. It comes from a rifle that appears where distance was supposed to offer safety. The HK417 represented the point where decades of 7.62 development finally met modern engineering. That is why it takes number 1. It did not replace the assault rifle, and it was never supposed to. It perfected the role the old battle rifles had slowly moved toward: disciplined, accurate fire from a trained shooter who needed more range and power than the standard rifle could provide. So, which rifle truly deserves to be called the most feared? The answer was never about steel and polymer alone. It was about the cartridge, the terrain, and the soldier behind the trigger. The FAL and G3 armed nations. The M110 failed as a universal rifle and returned as a marksman platform. The SCRH brought modularity to the battle rifle. The L129A1 filled a crucial gap in Afghanistan, and the HK417 refined the entire idea for a new century. Their reputations came from reach, reliability, and the pressure they placed on anyone who believed distance offered protection. But every one of them carried the same warning: a powerful rifle wastes its advantage when the shooter lacks discipline.